Hey, guys, hello. Look how crooked I am. Look, be the change. How you guys doing today? Oh, yes, I've got work to do today, but been been mowing things over in my mind. Just something to talk to you about. It's not like there's nothing going on up in there. There's plenty. Just trying to cipher through it all and see which I want to talk about. And so I was thinking about again this firmament, the firmament of heaven, and I've been calling it out as the stone, the pineal gland. And so in order to help shed more light on the scene, is that I was looking up things in the Bible that represent this veil, this curtain, and I found a bunch of things. I mean, to my surprise, they still everything fits together through these different symbols. They all seem to carry the same weight. That's what I'm saying. So, like, let's say, um, in the story with Jonah and Nineveh, Jonah gets swallowed by the whale. All right, he's thrown off the ship. He's hiding from God. He's thinking that he could hide from God. But the whole story is about him. He's at the well right at the beginning of the story, and he's you know talking with God about his next door neighbors. What a shitty group these people are, the Ninevites. And so all these stories, they are so, oh my God, they're just so intricately connected to symbolism, and my mind is just blowing crazy with all these different things. So he's sitting by an open well. That means he's inside. This is not an outside situation. It's a spiritual book, by the way. And when you're already talking with God, you have to be in the spirit. So it's a spirit talking to a spirit. When God speaks with people in the Bible, they're in a spirit situation. And all the people in our Bible is in a spiritual situation. So we find that well, in his story, it just starts right off the bat, and there's all this play with him being, eat up by a whale and spit up on shore, just so he could deliver the word of God to his neighbors. And he sat around waiting for them to get destroyed, and lo and behold, it didn't happen. He was a little pissed off. And the thing was is that God moved quietly over them, just like the Passover that happens in the Bible. Those people that do not have some kind of a protection against them, which in our protection is the stone, then when God comes over them, they're going to lose their firstborn by the sword. Is what this works. But this is one of the ways that they talk about it is by the sword. And by losing your firstborn means you don't have your messenger, you don't have your soul to take care of you, and so or to do anything, to communicate with God, to connect you to God, because all it is once you loosen that kid one time, he's gone. That's how it works. It says quicker than lightning, traveling from east to west. So whenever you are in this meditation situation, don't think that it's that hard, because when you finally do, when your mind finally does accept this quietness, boom, just like that, it's gone. All right, so wells. Let's see. Wells and water. Okay, so we get a story about Moses. Get a story about Moses where, just to finish off, the idea with Jonah is that um, God doesn't kill things. All right, God helps people that they change. He changes their minds. That's how he destroys things. All right, when we're in our other mind, when we're in our lower mind, this is where the destruction, everything happens from here. And this is with Father. All right, Father all by himself. You, the devil, on his own, is out here tearing up the world, eating up everything, and having a grand old time. Or he is being walked on, tread on, preyed upon, chewed on, spit out, and left for dead. Okay, you know, there's not a lot of choices for the lower minds. All right, you're either gonna make slaves or you're gonna be slaves. All right, but no matter what, the entire group is a slave situation. You know, no one is in charge of their own self. Believe it or not, that's how it works. All right, so so other parts about Bible, the veils. All right, we are introduced to Moses. Moses is killed. He kills an Egyptian, which means he's just gone into meditation. He's killed an Egyptian. He's running away. There was two witnesses to watch that, and when he walked by them, he thought, "Oh my God, I got to get away from them. Are you going to destroy us like you destroyed him?" Yes. All right. It's just a matter of thought. But what happens is he winds up over here. He winds up at a well, and he meets daughters, seven daughters of the priest of Midian. The Midian, again, I got mid in the middle. All right. This is this idea that he's killed someone. So what is it? And he's at the well. The well. They removed the covering of the well. They removed the covering so that so that the women come and draw the well from water. They draw it for. This is what happens in Cinderella, the beginning of Cinderella's story. The prince and his buddy, there's two traveling with him in this situation. Him and his servant are traveling. This would be like Ricky. Oh my goodness. This would be like Abraham and Isaac. They're traveling up the hill. But anyways, even in these stories, they find they get partway along their ways. We get Cinderella comes out of her house. She's by a hearth. She comes out and she pours from a well to the priest. To the prince and his servant. This is part of the story. This is how it works. So it's Cinderella. Too bad. That's how it works. All right. And so, oh my goodness, you guys. Let's keep going with this real quick. I got my notes. I have my notes. All right, just to keep me from losing it this time. So this idea of removing the stone and coming to the well. This is also a gate. This particular thing becomes a gate. It's one of the words like when Jesus goes up into the castle, or into whoever the priest's office or the main guy, and he's behind a gate, and Peter gets stuck on this side of the gate until a woman comes and talks to him and brings him in, and then they sit beside a fire, and beside the pineal gland while it sets afire. So, so it's just an outside representation of something that goes on the inside of our body. And this gate is a block. All of the chakra systems as they go is a particular gate or a doorway or a knob or something that opens or closes. So it has an open side and a closed side. So the same thing happens with, let's see, when it comes down to the veil is also things that it's hiding, things that are covering the mouth. Even a mustache is considered a veil, all right, in this book. It's kind of cool. This idea of covering the mouth and the veil and covering the mouth are the same thing. The curtain that divides the holiest of holies from the holies, the holiest of everything. There's a curtain there, right? And in the story of Jesus, when Jesus dies, the curtain is rent. All right. So curtain, clothing, garments. Yes, that's it. That's what it is. The garments are representing something that is hidden. And what is hidden is this beautiful place inside us, heaven. It's hidden behind a veil. Again, veil, to hide something behind something. A curtain to hide something behind something or to block out the light. But the idea is that with our skin, these things. So we, I just don't want to get too crazy. All right, because all of these things mean the same thing. Do you know that the word that is under a veil, right? It's lifted through Jesus Christ. That means that once you finally find Jesus Christ, the veil is lifted, and you can see this. This idea that when the curtains is ripped open, what that means is that earth and heaven are open. They're the same now. There's no division between the two of them because you're now connected to God. And this represents the stars falling from heaven to earth. There's no longer a separation from you in this place. They're now in the same business. They're in the same place. So we'll find that the word millstone becomes the same thing. You know, if you're going to treat my children, if any of you guys treat any of the children that believe in me, if you cause them to stumble, it'd be better for you that a millstone be hung around your neck and tossed into the sea. Do you see? It sounds like a threat, but it's not. It's actually, it's how you get rid of it's the cure. It's the cure for your problems, for your ailments, you know, to that millstone. All right. And the millstone is being used a couple of different ways. The lower millstone, and then there's an upper millstone. And I think one of these guys, someone gets killed with an upper millstone. All right, which is cool. You want to get killed by this part. All right. So if anyone were to take any of these children who believe in me and love me, you know, if anyone should cause them to stumble, that stumble is another word. The stumble is about bruising the heel. This idea that you would go about, you know, betraying the flesh, breaking the bread, you know, and stuff like that. This is, you know, your body, another piece, another thing. Now, what we are looking for in here is, in Revelations, it says, and the strong angel, and a strong angel took up a stone like a great millstone, and tossed it into the sea, saying, "So will Babylon, the great city, be thrown down with violence, and will not be found any longer." Okay, so when the great millstone is used in this way, thrown out into the sea, remember, like Jonah, everybody, when you go out into the sea, it gets swallowed by God. That's the whole point of the sea. It's the inside of us, not the outside, the inside. And so when we go into this situation, um, the lower will never be seen again because it's been raised, and it'll never show its ugly ass again. It can't, because it's promised to us in our Bible. All right, and Babylon is the lower mind. Okay, Babylon is also earth. All right, but we don't have this kind of luck with earth. But you can get that peace of mind, one mind at a time, by doing it yourself. All right. So we've stumbled on a little bit of this as the letter. We also represent, the letter represents religion. So religion is a stone. So in our Bibles, the guys come out of the synagogue or out of the temple, and he's talking to Jesus, saying, "Look at all of these stones, these buildings." You know, Jesus refers to churches as stones. Not one of these stones shall lay upon another. And he can rebuild this in 3 days. Of course, the idea is that stones, you know, when we make it over onto the other side, after following the works, after having the Bible snare us by the foot, snare us, that's where we trespass. This is where we get washed. Jesus says, the guy says, "Don't wash my feet." And he says, "If you don't let me wash your feet, then you're not allowed to come do this." "Oh, well, then wash my whole body, wash my whole head." "Oh, no, it's just your feet. It's just your feet that are dirty. That'll be just fine. It's just your feet." So this is about our trespasses when we're walking in the way of Christ. Do you know he also has his own whore? He's got his own Mary while he's doing his little business too. Do you understand? That's what's so beautiful about this, and that's how she gets the bejesuses chased out of hers, or let's not say the bejesus. She got the, the devils cast out of her. All of these things are wonderful little situations where it shows that this veil is what is keep coming between us and God. So anything that comes between us and God is a veil. So religion, the moon. All right, we've got curtains that are coming across. We got our skin is keeping us from doing this. We've got a stone in our head that's been plucked out by some eagle or some ravenous raven that's taking it away from us. Veils and mustaches, the coverings of the mouth. The thing, this idea that we just don't have what it takes. We says here it says here, it's one of these of the veils. Here's the one that says, this is in Isaiah 47:2. It says, take the millstones and grind meal. Remove your veil, strip off your skirt, uncover the leg, and cross the rivers. That's a really interesting bunch of paint, but this is talking about a lady. He's talking to a lady. He says, take a millstone and grind. This is when you're making a meal. You got to make that unleavened bread. This is when you start to go into meditation. It says, remove the veil. All right, and that's the skin. All right, break bread, same thing. Strip off the skirt. Uncover the leg. Uncover the leg. The leg is our religion, our spirit. Uncover her. Uncover. This is about bringing on the Holy Ghost. All right, and bringing on Mother. And then that means that has to do with crossing the rivers. It's just beautiful. It's just absolutely beautiful. All right, and we have lepers in here. Lepers are sickness. Lepers are people that cannot heal their own problems with their own hand, when they can't do it themselves. And that's the point about going in and getting corrected by God. It takes away your sins, and this would take away the problems that come with it. And that's the idea of, some kind of menstrual problems, some trouble with the blood, halts, the people that can't move, people that are dead, it takes away blindness. It takes away, problems with hearing. These are the things. And leprosy is a situation where they're all under veil, and their heads have to stay uncovered and stuff like that. So this is talking about just a normal, everyday, happy, ever-go-lucky person on earth has got leprosy, because even within his own mind, he has a way of healing himself, but he has no knowledge of it. So this is what a leper is. You get clean of leprosy as well. Yeah, and when all these bad things are going on with you, it's like, oh Lord, why dost thou reject my soul? Why do you hide your face from me? Well, because the veil works two ways. It keeps you from seeing God, and also keeps him. He says, you turn yourself from me, but in reality, you're actually hanging out with Father. So you got this part of it. All right, so we know curtains are a part of this. And in the first part of the Bible, we have in Exodus, we have a lot of couplings. So in all of these things, one of the best things it says in Exodus there, chapter 26, and scripture number 2, it says here, the length of one curtain shall be 8 and 20 cubits, and the breadth of one curtain 4 cubits, and every one of the curtains shall have one measure. All right, well, curtains is your body. Curtain is you. You are the curtain. Do you know how long it's going to be? This first curtain, this 28 cubits, is 42. That means 6. The breadth of it also is 4 cubits. Do you know what that means? 6. We've got to do our works first. This is what it says. And every one of the curtains shall have one measure. Everyone has to do their works first. That's really what it's saying. That's what it's saying to me when I see it. All right? And in the way we're reading it could be wrong. The idea that the length of one curtain shall be 8 and 20 cubits. And then this should be simple, empty like that. This is 42. That means 6. That's it. All right. But the one that says here down on the end, the breadth of the curtain shall be 4 cubits. Well, this represents another 6, which represents the works. But 4 would also be, that thing, the number 4 that we use to change our mind to bring us over to the other side. All right. So this is what you do after you finish your works. That's how I'm going to believe it. But these curtains then start talking about making 2 sets. And there should be 5 loops on one side and 5 loops on another, or these loops, so that when they couple together, they fit together beautifully. This is a joining of the right and left sides of the brain, all right? And that they're both, and this is all about coupling. The whole thing about the tent here, the tent situation, which is another fabric-made situation that's covering the temple itself, the tent itself, it going inside the tent. This is about going inside of you. Again, all of these things, they're just beautifully wrapped together, absolutely beautifully woven together. Here we go. We says, let's see. All right, curtains, and wells. Did I get through all of these? I think I got through everything. Removing the veil. So religion is a veil. Our skin is a veil. It's hiding Jesus and God and everything from us, stuff like that. Remember, heaven is inside of us and outside of us. Okay, and they're not talking about everywhere else. It's about you. The Bible is about you. It's about the mind. That's what it's about. I hope you got something out of this today. All right. I got to get some work done. And what would be really cool is to pull each one of these all apart and find out all these different references in the Bible about them. But this is about, this well is this first place that you come to, because it's about losing the skin. It's about losing the place. It's going in and getting washed. And no one's allowed to walk on this particular part of the world. It's holy land, holy ground. You have to be a child. That's why if you were to make any of these children, that believe in me, you should make them stumble. It'd be best for you if you had a millstone tied around your neck and tossed to the middle of the sea. It's great. It's absolutely beautiful. Same thing happens with the unclean. They don't kill us, don't kill us, don't kill us. Okay, we won't kill you. So he puts them in a bunch of pigs, and they run up against some kind of this herd jumps into the water and drowns themselves. It's the type of situation where the unclean are always being thrown in the water. And and I can remember reading the story to you guys about one of those stories in the Hindu stories, where they're in a fight and it's a Brahmana and the devil's on one side and his on another, and they're shooting, fighting each other. So when they finally get a good hit on this devil of theirs, does it go whee down into the water? Everything goes into the water. All the evil gets washed when it hits the water. So it's a very important part of this. And in the tabernacle, before you can go into the holiest of holies, you've got to wash. You've got to be able to be clean before you can go in, all this. And so since the skin is not a clean thing, the skin's got to go. All right, so I hope you got something out of this. I had fun. It's taken a good part of the morning, and it's a wonderful thing. And I got to tell you that even Jesus has his whore, while he's trawling around. That's one of the good things that you can understand about this, that he, like religion, this whore, represents the outside God, this outside situation, our works. But we have to get rid of our works. We get rid of the whore. We get rid of all of that business. And we shine bright with the Lord. That's what we do. All right. Chat with you soon. I hope this makes it because I sure did a lot of talking.